Hey, everybody. Sorry, had my mic off. Today we're going to be talking about accountability, and I'm just going to wait till there's some more guests in here. How's everybody doing today? And let's see what we got going on. I don't think there's anybody else going live this morning that I see. NB Heritage Farms has a chick cam going on. That's pretty much it. Now I did have this set to 11:30, but wasn't expecting to go on. This early, so I'll wait a few more minutes, see if I can get anybody to come on. Oh, I got 3 likes already. Where's my peoples at? I'm also getting people there saying that they're not getting my notification. So that's probably another issue. Oh, we got 1 person watching. Hello, thanks for coming in. Oh, 2 watching now. Hello. Thank you for coming in. Just leave a comment in the chat. We are going to be talking about our accountability today. And I wanted to talk about motivation and a little bit about, like last week I talked about how to say no, because I constantly have people, like specifically my mother, stuffing food in my face constantly. So I wanted to talk a little bit about motivation and getting moving. We still got 1 person in here, so let's see if we can get some more people. If you have a community page, make sure to share me out. But I will wait. It still might be a little too early for some people, and I know it's hard for me to get up too. I've been up since 10. I didn't shut off my live last night until like 2. Still trying to get my hours. I have just did my hour update this morning. Let's see. I'm at 36.91. Nope, still at 300 hours. 309 hours, actually, to be exact. But okay, so what have you guys been doing to exercise? I haven't been outside. Well, I have been. You know what? I have been outside. I've been outside quite a bit, actually, especially since the weather has changed. Like, it was like 80 degrees the other day. So we were out there, we were moving around, but I need to move more. So I believe I'm going to start walking. And depending on how this accountability thing goes, I might be walking early Friday mornings. So it's good to get moving. It's good to keep walking. I'm excited because next week I have a special guest, and I'm hoping I get people in here for that. And now I'm just waiting. And I'll be right back. Hey, Rebel Canners, thank you for coming in. I know I had this planned for 11:30 and I started it early because, so that's an issue too. So how are you doing today? It's good to see you in the chat. Today we're talking about motivation and what keeps us going. I'm trying really hard to just keep moving. So that's another thing. Thanks for coming in and chatting it up with us. If you want to come up, you can. And we can talk about it. It's up to you. Here's my link. But yeah, we were on late last night, so I understand people couldn't get up this morning. So, oh, you're on the road? Oh, cool. That's fun. I love to go to different greenhouses and stuff. It's so much fun. So I've been talking about motivation and keeping us moving. Next week, I'm going to have a special guest on the show, and I'm super excited to have her on the show. She is a yoga fitness instructor, and she's going to be talking about yoga and how good it is to just, get out and keep moving and keep exercising. So I'm really excited to have her on the show. Hey, how are you doing?
Hi. No, it's not May 1st. Good. I am out greenhouse hopping though.
Oh, that's fun though.
So I may lose service. Yes. Yep. So we'll come back to.
Oh, I'm losing you.
Oh.
That's okay.
Oh. I'll try to come back again if I get to better service.
Okay, that's not a problem. Thank you for showing up. So I'm going to have a yoga fitness instructor next week. So I'm going to do a little more advertising for that. It is going to be, hey, Citizen Guardian. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. And actually, it's actually Citizen Guardian's sister that I'm going to have on my show next week. So I'm super excited about that. You feel free to come up if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Don't feel obligated. But the link is in the link. So you are more than welcome to come up and chat with me. But what are you doing to stay motivated? Oh my gosh, it's so hard, isn't it? It's hard to stay motivated. And I myself have found it very difficult. But I am getting up earlier. I can tell you that. And that is part of my accountability. I was sleeping in way too late. And so I've been getting up and getting moving. Today it's going to be a good day. I'm going to be doing laundry and cleaning up the house a little bit. So that I will be doing. Hey, Rebel Cameras, that's okay. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. That's okay. I understand. People are busy. And this whole summer, I'm going to be extremely busy. So I get it. Yeah, I'm super excited. She's really cool. I'm so glad that you connected me with her because I got good vibes from her, you know. I'm excited. Yeah, you can come up. I'll be here. I'm going to be here for an hour at least. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. What else? What else are you guys doing? Are you walking more? Or, I mean, what have you changed? Have you changed anything in your diet? I know I have been eating a lot less. I can tell you that. I've been eating a lot less. I've been eating a lot less. I've been drinking more water. I'm taking more vitamins. All those things I've been doing. If you guys aren't aware yet, I do sell CBD products. It's at the top. My link is at the top of the page. So if you want to browse my website, go ahead and take a look at that. And there are different types of products. I just got a new product in the mail. And it is the shampoo. I have not used it yet though, but I have been using the CBD oil specifically for my neck. I've noticed a huge, tremendous difference in my neck because I get right through here and all the way up the back of my head. I get like I have a pinched nerve. So I've been using that CBD oil and taking that, and I've noticed like a huge, huge difference. It's big difference. And so I've been using that. I haven't used the coffee yet, but after this, I'm definitely going to be making myself a cup of coffee. I just didn't have any cream or sugar or cream. I use cream in it mainly. I just didn't have any cream, so now I have it, and I'll be making some coffee, and then I will also be using the shampoo later on today. So I'm excited to see the difference. The link to all the CBD products that I sell are at the top of this page. I put the link at the top of this page. I should probably put it in the description too. So when I'm done with this live, I will put my CDB oil description in the link as well. So you can click on that website. Hey, you guys. Hi, Ginger Ninja. How you doing? So what have you been doing to stay motivated, Ginger Ninja? Have you been out there? Have you been moving? This summer is going to make it super easy to lose some weight, especially if you have a garden. So let's keep it moving. Yeah, so that's what I got going on. I have also taken upon me and myself. I was like really proud of myself the other day when I went to the casino because I didn't overeat, and two, I really watched what I ate. And I drank more water. I had less sugar. And hey, you're in the chat. How you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So I've had way less sugar. And so that is like the main thing with me. I gotta like not have that much sugar. It's the devil, I guess you would say. So I am drinking a lot less sugar, and I'm actually drinking more water. So water is very good for you. Coffee made with Nestle Quick instead of cream and sugar makes a good drink. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check the sugar content on that. On the Nestle Quick. You know, they sneak in sugar in everything. It is so difficult if you want to lose weight, because they sneak it in even when you're not expecting. You think you're eating something really good for you. It could even be a vegetable. You think you're eating something very good for you, and then all of a sudden you read the back of the package and they slipped in something. They either, and it's not okay. It's not okay. You don't think so. You just have to really read the back of every package and everything that you are consuming. It makes it frustrating for people, but you just got to keep moving. The average person, if they just keep moving and keep exercising, no matter even whatever they ate, they would still lose weight. So that's another thing. It's like, you just got to keep exercising and keep moving. It doesn't matter what it is. Mix it up. I'm one of these people that get really bored really easily, and then I lose interest. So I wanted to have different exercises, or different people that do exercises on the show, just so you can mix it up throughout the week. One day you can ride a bike. The next day you can do yoga. The next day, maybe walk. Just like mix it up, so then that way you aren't getting bored. Or do that yoga class once a week or twice a week, so you have something to look forward to, and just keep moving. So that is my motivational spiel for the day. But just keep it mixed up and keep walking and keep moving. I told her that I was going to be live this morning, and she said that she would look and see.
So he joined.
He is here. What's up? Hold on. I don't know why. I click on it and then nothing happens, and then I click on it again and then it happens. So I don't know.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of jinx there, right? That's exactly the same. I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. It's just happy it's Friday. It's been a pretty successful week and pretty busy. Yeah, and it's good that you're speaking about this topic as well. It's a topic that I think is quite important, because a lot of people have also gained during the last year scenario. So,
I know. It's horrible, isn't it? Because people have just been at home and just, eating whatever. And yeah, I understand.
And myself as well. I mentioned before that what has actually happened is I've got a bit of extra weight over here right now, like just underneath my chin. So if I'm sitting in like a certain position and my wife's sitting next to me, I'm a bit self-conscious about it. So I'll make sure it's, get that that double chin going. Yeah. No, it's good. It's very good for people to stay healthy, and then not just physically healthy, but mental health as well is something that's coming up quite often recently. And I think that a lot of the time, both of them are quite closely combined as well, because a lot of people that do start struggling with extra weight or something can fall into depression, and vice versa. Depression can sometimes cause people to gain weight quite quickly. It can have various effects on the body as well, obviously.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And certain medications as well, like you can't help it. Like I know my mom is on one specifically, prednisone, and she's noticed that she's gained weight. But she can't help it because it's that medication. Certain medications can really make you gain weight. So you just got to watch. It's hard. It's hard. I know myself, maybe about 6 years ago, I was on like 5 or 6 medications a day. And they were all not good for me. Like make you sleepy, um, it made you gain weight, made you not motivated to go and do anything. Like it's horrible. I got off all of them. I couldn't handle it anymore. And then of course, well, with anxiety and stuff that I have, um, it's just a trickle down effect too, because then you gain the weight, but then you also, with the weight, you have different other health issues that come into play. Diabetes is in the future, and stuff like that. So you just, you know, you get in this cycle and you can't get out of it. So I'm getting out of it. I can't deal with it anymore. Hi, Tina
Yeah.
Ladybug. Thank you for coming on. I saw ya. I didn't mean to not address it. But yeah, so I'm working on it. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard to stay motivated and like get up in the morning. That is my biggest thing, is getting up in the morning. That's why I started doing this at early in the morning, like 10, 11 o'clock. Because normally I would sleep till noon, 1 o'clock. That's not good. So
Sorry, I'm still here.
it's okay. I know you are.
I'm definitely still listening as well, and I think it's important that, going on what you're saying as well, and maybe I can speak for personal experience as well. Something that really starts to set in and has been setting on last year, that's quite closely correlated, is just the fact that sorry, it's just a little bit of audio on the side here. Sorry, I apologize. But yeah, so what basically happens is a lot of people, they've been feeling like that when they do gain weight, that they start feeling, that insecurity starts setting in as well, and people lose that, they, in a way, they lose that feeling of, that feeling of being proud of yourself and just being motivated additionally to carry on that. And it's just like, when people do start experiencing that, it can be quite detrimental. But at the same time, I think it's, it sounds incredibly cliche, but loving yourself and just accepting who you are is something that's so incredibly important, and not judging people based on the category of weight that they're currently in or what weight issues they have. And I know that it sounds so easy for me to say and that type of thing. And it's something that maybe, is like a beating a dead horse type of thing. I understand it completely, but it's sorry, my little one's on the side here, so I'm trying to address like a topic that I feel so passionate about. I'm so sorry. But yeah. So what I was getting at essentially is that it's just it's so important, even if you do have like a situation where you do feel yourself gaining a bit of weight and that type of thing as well, to still like have a lot of love for yourself, like inner love. And it's just like, obviously, that while saying that though, it's incredibly important to also not just like flawlessly look at the way that you're going, because you should try and consistently change. So change is a good thing. If you do notice that there's something that is making you feel uncomfortable, like a weight issue, then to kind of like work on that at the same time, but really just being happy with who you are. Because the problem is that everybody's so like, introspection is a great thing, is what I'm saying, but having too much of it can be really bad too.
Yeah, I totally, yeah. It's also hard. It's just hard. Like here like, I don't know where you are at, but here in America, like a lot of people judge you for the weight, and so it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult just all the way around. And then you always have somebody that is a diet expert. Like you always have somebody that's like, you shouldn't be eating that. Well, you shouldn't. And like, you always get somebody that is a diet expert that claims that they know everything, and they're motivating you in the wrong way, Hey, Thorhaven, what is going on? How you doing? It's good to see you in here.
Yeah, so good to see you, Thor. Do you don't want to come up for a bit? I know that you always, you're assisting a lot of streams and you're always being, so genuine. Don't you want to pop up for a bit? It is not an inconvenient time. It's no problem. Either way, just be happy to chat to you for a bit.
I'll put his link in the chat. I'll put the link in the chat for you, Darren. But yeah, so I'm just trying to stay motivated and try to just keep moving and not being so bored with it, because that's another thing too. It's like if I do one thing all week long, I get bored with it or I lose interest. So I'm just going to do one thing one day and one thing the next day. And people got to also remember too, oh, okay, I understand. People also have to know too, like when you're outside working in your garden or you're walking around doing this and that outside, that's also exercise. It's also moving, you know, so you're also getting some kind of exercise there too, you know. So
well, you're part of Shed Wars at the moment, obviously, and your guys' season has basically just started. So
yeah,
that's a lot of there's quite a lot of work that really goes into that. And just, you know, because you're basically doing double the work. You're doing your regular garden work, and then you're also recording footage and spending more time in the garden trying to capture different shots and that type of thing. So it really is quite awesome. And that's why, you know, Shed Wars, this last experience for me, I don't think I've experienced something that's as community-based as Shed Wars as I recently did. The way that the friendships built up so quickly. Actually, because of being in the Southern Hemisphere, I got placed in a lot of the Australian teams. So
yeah,
to make a whole bunch of friends of Australian people, like across the board. And I've got to tell you, like, what a down-to-earth bunch they are, really. It's been so awesome to get to know some of them as well. And it's been really friendly. And I think a lot of the time, what's nice is seeing the international gardening community sticking together. From all over the world as well. I've seen a lot of the same people that I see in your streams, in like Australian streams, in people from the UK. So you definitely have more of an international reach than you realize at the moment, maybe. I know that you're actually doing like really well regarding sub numbers, and that's going really awesome for you. I just think that it's something where being able to have that reach, and the gardening community in general is so nice. Like they're always helping each other. They're providing useful tips. And as somebody that considers themselves primarily as a prepper, that's one thing that you really should try and master now as much as possible, so that you don't end up having those situations in like a, you know, an emergency or disaster scenario if you were cut off food supplies or anything like that. But I won't ramble on about prepping right now.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Oh, Jerry McCurry's he's still here. His parents love Nestle Quick because it has good stuff and they help your kids active and healthy protein. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Dia, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I think I got you. I think you subscribed to me when I had In the Kitchen with Karen on my show. Super cool woman. But yeah, so it's just hard. It's hard to lose weight. It's hard to stay motivated. And it's this summer, it's just going to be completely different. So I'm really excited. So I'm just going to watch what I eat over the summer. And then I'm going to, you know, I'll obviously be in the garden and doing stuff outside. So with that and watching what I eat, I think I should lose quite a bit. So I'm super excited about just getting moving. Right now, though, it's so freaking cold outside. Like, it just doesn't make you want to go outside.
Is it
It's
warming up?
raining, it's cold, it's nasty.
Is it starting to warm up at least?
Yeah, a little bit. Little by little. Yeah,
no,
but
have you tried doing like any sort of bicycling, like cycling, mountain biking, just the beginnings of that maybe as well? Because that's something that as it warms up could actually be really good for your core. And then that like obviously influences the rest of you as well. So have you thought of maybe, you and Dustin, have you guys thought of maybe getting bikes, or if you've got bikes already?
Yeah, we have bikes. We used to do that. We used to go on trails and do that. It's been a while though. But I would love to do that again. And I have a stationary bike as well. So plan on getting on that. They say just like a half hour a day on the stationary bike, you could, you know, do good things. So
well, what can be helpful for that is actual motivation through the mountain biking and through cycling in general. So the stationary bikes are very good. They're pretty decent at, you know, there's pros and cons to them as well. If you have the motivation, then a stationary bike works. But for myself, like we've had a stationary bike for quite some time as well, but compared to actually, because what you can do to motivate yourself additionally is you can go on like small mountain biking courses as well, or just like small courses around the neighborhood, around the block. Like you make it like a Tuesday and a Thursday that you guys just cycle twice around the block, for example. And it sounds very, very simple. It takes you 5 minutes, and it really sounds like the most simple thing to ever really do. Well, depending on how big your block is, some blocks are like an hour cycle around. So don't let me, I shouldn't make assumptions. So basically what I'm saying is if you get into that routine, just like a Tuesday and a Thursday, you and Dustin find a bit of time to just go cycling a little bit. And then it starts off with that. And eventually like it changes from just going around the block twice to like developing your own routes, the areas that you like that are more scenic, and just be very cautious and practice safety all the time when you do. But at the same time, it can be so nice. And then compared to the stationary bike, when you're doing that outside, like if you do take it slowly in the beginning, you can just see like the fresh airs are all around you. You get to meet different people. You wave at people as you're going fast and that. I know it sounds goofy, but I do that to everybody. Like I'm always waving to every single person. And it sounds really dumb, right? And I've always done it, but it's just like the amount of connection that you get from people that are sometimes maybe having a bad day, and you go across and you just give them like a hi. It's the most silliest thing in the world, but like just that human connectivity for like a moment is something that's like so precious. And it's just, and so when you're cycling you can do that as well. It's really fun. So just try it out, even if it's just either a Tuesday or any day of the week when you guys have a bit of spare time. Go ahead and try it out and do like that for 2 or 3 minutes and just see where that leads you as well. So I don't know, I did a lot of mountain biking as well, so that's why when I talk about topics that I'm passionate about, like I go on and on and on, and then I like look at it afterwards and I'm like, did you really need to add all of that? That's yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I have a bike, and it's been cool. It's been a long time since I've been on it, but I'll have to do that. I have, me and my husband, we both bought bikes like 5 years ago, and we started doing a bunch of trails and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to get on it again and start doing that again. Cause it was so much fun. Like there was like the trails around here, like now this is completely horrible, but there's like an ice cream place on the trail. There's, stuff like that. So yeah, but it was fun, and you got to see so many cool things. And I love taking pictures and stuff. So that was even more cool for me because, when you're going along, you see things that are neat. And we used to go to parks and stuff all the time. Now that we live out in the country, here, it's like, it makes it a little more difficult because there's not a whole lot of parks and stuff like that.
No, I get that.
Hey, Daryl, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you had like the whole ice cream on the path type of thing, that's just a motivator. Like it does sound silly, and it isn't the most healthiest, but at the same time, it definitely can be an inspiration for you to actually get out there, because you could be eating the ice cream sitting at home, or you could have done that and actually gone somewhere, cycled, and used up a little bit of energy, and then had an ice cream. So don't let the fact that there's an ice cream there, let that actually be a good and positive influence. I'm a big ice cream fan, so I'm a bit biased, so sorry about that.
Yeah. That's hilarious. But yeah, so maybe we'll do it again. And yeah, those trails are so much fun. Now that I have a son, it makes it more difficult too. I might have to get something for him so we can pedal him around. We'll see. Maybe a chair like on my bike or something.
It also can be pretty cool for, as the little one gets older as well, just gets more encouraged to do that. And specifically if they see mom and dad around as well, if they see the parents in general have a big influence on their little ones as well, just by their actions. So if they do see that you're trying to be, motivated and you are trying to be healthy, then they'll definitely pick up on that. My little one, what's really cute is, she really is the center of my world in a lot of ways, and my family's everything to me. And like my little one just picks up slowly on some of the different things that I've been involved in as well. I spoke lightly about it last time as well, just some of the preparation type of stuff and just survival and outdoors type of things as well. She's also she loves animals. And I think that that's something that we always really enjoy. If we put on like a National Geographic or something like that, or put on like a little animal documentary, it's always so much fun. So.
She's been watching, you guys. I'm so sorry to just like
no,
rat in
no,
here,
not at all.
Totally randomly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Our daughter's been watching these two cute shows on Netflix. The one is called If I Were an Animal.
Yes. My son was watching that one. Yeah.
Yes, she
Awesome.
loves it because obviously cute baby animals, what's not to love?
Right.
And then another one is Izzy's Koala, what's it? Izzy's Koala World. And it's about her family, and what they do is they like rehabilitate like injured koalas and like look after babies if the mommy like dies or something like that. And it's this girl and her family, and they go around like Australia doing that. And that's also just so cute because like usually the kind of idea you're given about koalas is, oh, they look cute, but they're actually quite scary. Now, although that is true and they are quite scary, and you just don't want to just walk up to one and try hug one or cuddle one, in the wild, like there is a definite cute side to them, and this little girl helps rehabilitate them. So they're obviously the same to her. It's adorable.
I'll have to check that out.
There we go. Just
sorry.
Because then they're looking at this face and hearing this beautiful voice, and then it's like, where's the contrast? Like, what?
I'm like so lazy because it's like been like a cloudy day here, and I'm like in like one of my big comfy
you look beautiful.
hoodies.
Look how good you look on camera. Don't be silly.
And I'm just like scrolling through YouTube and listening here to this side of the conversation.
Yeah.
Very, very relaxed today.
Yeah, it's not good here. It's like cold and rainy and everything else. So I understand. Sometimes somebody just needs acknowledgement, and you never know if you were saying hi is what they needed. Oh, that's true. Aw, that is so true. Oh, you miss watching Steve Irwin. Yeah, I miss watching him too. Like, I really enjoyed his programs. Like, I just love that kind of stuff.
His little ones now taking on.
His kids continued.
His little ones are now starting to pick it up.
Bendy, she's doing like a lot of awesome stuff at the zoo.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then his son was, I think it was on, I'm not sure about these late night TV shows on in the States, but I think it was either Jimmy Fallon. It was one of those,
Oh, okay.
And he basically did what his dad used to do, where he brings like a lizard and a python and like teaches them about the animal, which was really cool. So he's kind of following in his dad's footsteps in that way. And then Bendy's more like focusing on like the actual conservation and all that of the animals, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's brilliant seeing them like following in their dad's footsteps in that regard as well. So it's really cool to see that. And also, yes, I wanted to speak on that comment as well from Heritage Heart Homestead. So that's comments as well. I know that you just mentioned it as well, but sometimes somebody just needs acknowledgement, and you never know if you saying hi is what they needed. Now, I know that sometimes I'll be on a certain track when I'm talking about something, and then I'll be like, hey, look, a bird. Like, it's terrible. Like, I really get distracted with my own conversation sometimes. So like what happened there, and what I was speaking about is what I was going to speak about as well is that there's been a lot of times where if you really just have just a moment of your time to actually acknowledge somebody else, you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable, because I understand that that's a concern to a lot of people as well, is that breaking that barrier. I completely realize that. But at the same time, it's like having just that brief moment just to genuinely, like when in passing as well, just to, to acknowledge somebody and realize that, like, you're just both human beings saying hello to one another. And that's something where that doesn't matter where you're from politically, socially, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, but it matters like just that the fact that you're both human beings, and the fact that we were all infants at one stage, and that like the world has just changed us for who we are. But at the end of the day, like that we all, it's the same reason why if you see kids in a grocery store, it doesn't matter like where, what background the people are from in any way, like the kids will always get along and they'll like greet each other and wave each other. And that was one of the most awesome experiences of my little one as well, is when we'd be doing shopping, like there'd be kids that are coming past, and it doesn't matter like at all, like if they're from a lower bracket or a high bracket income, it meant nothing. It didn't matter where their social background was as well. It just mattered like that they were both kids, and it was just awesome to see. Like it's just really cool.
Kids are really cool like that. Like they don't care, and they haven't got that in them to be judgmental or anything like that. They don't think about it. They're, what is the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. But yeah, so the kids have that in them, and it's really cool. It's kind of, I can't talk right now. But yeah, so it's really nice to see that. It's refreshing actually to see that kids can just get along and stuff. They don't even think about that kind of thing. Yeah, they're not biased. That's the word I was looking for. They don't have that in them. It's so neat. Adults are just so, specifically now with everything that's going on in the world, but adults are very standoffish and not as friendly and mean. I think sometimes the world can make you that way, but I think we all need to get back to that. It's okay. No problem, citizen. You're good. But yeah, so I think we all need to get kind of back to that, Yeah, there you go. They're very adulty. That's a good word. Triggered. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I understand it though. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that are making people mean and nasty and just not happy. And, it's hard to find that happiness, especially like, say for instance, if you're living in a situation you don't want to be living in or something like that. I'm lucky because I'm living out here. I'm doing my thing. This is my dream, living in this home and having my own garden and farming. I'm living my dream. A lot of people don't have that. So.
Sorry about that, Courtney. I'm right here. I just had to quickly take a call. So yeah, it is really nice being in that place. And I think a lot of the time when we're in our 20s, we don't really have that feeling of being set in stone yet. A lot of the time, well, I can speak personally about it, but it just feels so much better when I'm in my exact mid-30s now. I'm 35, and I feel so much more comfortable in my own skin in a lot of ways. A lot of like hard work has gotten me to be at the point where I'm confident in who I am, which is a great thing. But it's just at the same time though, like when I was in my 20s, you have a lot of insecurities, and I just hope that as I get older, I look forward to aging and having less of those insecurities, because they still bug me sometimes. Sorry to divert the conversation to that primarily, but like it's just, yeah, it's quite interesting to see the way that people interact with one another as well.
Yeah, and I don't know. Once you're an adult, like you get in a set routine, you get, and so it makes it hard though to interact with people. A lot of people have like when you're an adult, it's hard. It is harder to make friends. It's harder to make friends because you're, everybody's on a different schedule. Everybody, but this last year, sorry, my chair is killing me. This chair is horrible. But it's hard to make friends as an adult, or you do make friends and then something happens and they try to use you or something like that. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's hard. It's hard to make friends as an adult. You're always on different schedules, but with this last thing going on, a lot of people aren't working right now. So YouTube is, a great outlet for meeting people and stuff like that. So I've met a lot of really awesome people, you being one of them, you and your wife. But like everybody that's in my chat, like they're so freaking cool. Like I have such a good time with everybody, and we laugh and we have fun, and that's really, you wouldn't get that anywhere else. Like I couldn't go out right now and get that kind of connection with anybody because everybody is so scared of,
Yeah,
scared
that's
to
exactly
be
it.
out. So
when you mentioned that fear as well, and that's the thing, is that it's the same reason why it's harder to make friends, because both of them correlate closely. They basically fall in line, because the older that you get, the more that people will it's really tough, because you learn to put defensive measures up as well. You learn to be a lot more defensive because you've been hurt by a lot of people, and then that hurt ends up meaning that you're way more cautious next time. So that's the difference as we get older, that we have more of those experiences, and then we sometimes it's almost instinctual. It's the same reason why we learn to be afraid of snakes instinctively, because we knew from other people's experiences and from our own that animal is going to hurt you. So that experience with the snake will just furthermore increase that feeling of defensiveness towards other people. So then the same exact situation happens when it comes to making friends and seeing how people are and stuff like that. And that's the cautious thing as well, is that I haven't really been uploading much recently on my channel and that type of thing. I plan to in the future, but it's just for now what I'm doing is I really have been enjoying joining these streams. I spend more time watching some of the homesteading streams than I do pretty much creating content or anything like that. It's become more about a social thing. And I do plan on doing content. We've spoken about it before where I do plan on doing that, but it's just the focus that I'm speaking about as well when it comes to having those defenses up against people is also, sorry about that. That must have been terrible if you're wearing headphones. I really do apologize.
it's okay.
So what happens is that we also start to be a lot more judgmental, and people being judgmental of others, and also people using others and stuff. With clout chasing and that type of thing, because I'm very familiar with what that is, and I understand. Kay sticks to a lot of what's happening in the social media and that type of thing as well, and what other people are doing. And I've heard a lot about that is basically chasing fame consistently on platforms such as YouTube or anything like that as well. And then there's a big difference between doing that and actually just making genuine connections and friends, and not being as judgmental as a lot of people have become. Yeah. So because people get very angry at the moment, people have that's what I mentioned before. Oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I have dogs. I get it.
Yeah. People get upset very quickly as well. People are a lot more short-fused. There's a lot of people out there that right now, you say something that isn't even directly related to them. And I fortunately have done my utmost best to not be somebody that, makes people feel uncomfortable in any way. And that's why also it's good that you're paying attention to chat. I also want to check in now, speaking about making people feel uncomfortable. I don't want people to feel like I'm not paying attention to what they have to input as well. But yeah, this comes down to letting that go, though, letting those defenses down occasionally at the risk of being hurt. Because if you don't, then you end up just completely isolating yourself and your small group or family from everybody else. And then what's the point in that? Because we're supposed to be moving forward, not backwards. We're supposed to be, making friends with people and more in general as well. I'm also going to just read the chat quickly and just give a little comments there and stuff. So I just wanted to ramble on about that quickly. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, now everybody's in the chat talking about dogs, but yeah, I have dogs, and specifically my big dog Otis. He wants to go outside, but my other dog Ellie, she doesn't want to go outside with him. So I get that he's outside. So then I close the door, and she just sits there looking at me like I'm not going out there with him. And then he just sits there and he barks at the door. Like, why isn't she coming out? Why isn't she wanting to come and play with me? Because you're freaking annoying, Otis. That's why. She don't want to go out there with you because you're annoying her. So I deal with that about 100 times a day. It's great.
You speak about that. You speak about dogs barking at doors and that type of thing. And I don't know if you like the I won't go too extensively into it, but the paranormal topic about dogs barking into the middle of nowhere, where
Yes.
there's like sometimes those type of situations. Have you experienced any of those where
Yes.
the dogs will just start acting like a bit creeped out because they can see things that we can't always, my belief
Yeah, my
anyway?
old house, I had Ellie. I hadn't even had her for like a couple months, and I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and it was like all dark in the room. And I actually recorded it because it was like unreal. She turns around and just starts barking at the air. Now, I had a lot of paranormal experiences in that house, and my husband, he can see that he sees things that I don't see, and he saw things, in upstairs and whatever. So he's had a lot of paranormal experiences in that house that I didn't have. But yeah, so she just started barking, out of nowhere. Gosh, that freaks you out. It's like
Yeah.
there's nothing there, but and she was on edge. She normally is not like that. She's not that kind of dog. She was growling and everything. It was an intense moment. I called my husband instantly on the phone because he was working, and I was like, "Honey," I'm like, "Ellie's just barking like out of nowhere. Like I don't know what's going on. It's freaking me out." Like,
No, it is. It is definitely a bit scary to a degree. It is something that, even if it's because I'm obviously a very big skeptic too, though. So like at the same time, I kind of believe that there is a lot of things that we don't really understand completely. Like I get that 100%. We don't understand the different dimensions as well. I won't go too deeply into the conspiracy theory type dimension type of thing, but basically I know that dogs can pick up on sometimes on things that we don't always pick up on because
right.
their hearing is like so much more acute than ours, and so is their like almost all their senses, their smell, like they can pick up on things that we would never ever like even understand. So my theory is, because I try and have a practical approach to everything, is that it could just be, I don't know, frequencies that they're seeing or things that they can hear from a really far away, from a far distance off, that we just didn't hear at all. And then as soon as they do, they can't look at anything particularly. So they can't really go to like the window or look out or something all the time. So what they'll do is they'll just hear something and then they'll like be looking at somewhere, and we might be thinking that they're looking at something in specific, but they're just like, that's their focus point for that moment. And they're just like kind of freaking out. I don't know. I love ghost toys and stuff like that. And
Me
Kay's
too.
actually
Me
Kay's
too.
also big into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. Well, I don't normally tell people, but I'm a spiritualist. So that's, a big part of what I believe in. But yeah, dogs and stuff, they have senses that we as humans don't have, or we probably do have. We just have been desensitized over the years of not having it anymore or haven't used it. And so dogs, like, specifically, like, they can smell cancer, they can, and so stuff that humans can't,
Yeah.
so why wouldn't they be able to see something that we don't normally see? It just makes you think, like,
Have you
yeah.
watched those? There's a dog specifically. I can't remember the dog's name now, and I'm pretty good with remembering animal names. But there's a dog that actually that they used at one of these hospitals. I'll see if I can find it later and send it to you. But there was a dog that they used specifically. Do you remember, Love? Do you remember that dog that would pick up when they used a dog in a hospital to pick up people's illnesses and stuff? What was that? Do you remember about that?
I remember, but it was a dog who could sniff out cancer.
Yeah, that's what Courtney was just saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then apparently there was like a dog recently that could detect coronavirus.
Oh, that's a big C word that we must be careful of.
No, I'm not saying anything false about it. I like literally saw the article like about 2 days ago that there was a dog in some hospital that helped them detect it.
It's not nearly as bad as it is, because obviously, like, I see streamers.
Okay, I'm sorry. See, now I'm going off topic.
No, feel free to go.
There was also a cat in like a retirement home in I think it was the UK somewhere. I don't want to be wrong. But he would go and lay on the old people's beds, and if he laid on their beds, they passed away that day.
Aw.
So it's like he could tell. And so they called him the little angel of death, obviously.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that cat laying on my bed if I wasn't ready yet. I'm just like,
Yeah,
you
exactly,
can
but it was
go somewhere else. But yeah, so yeah, I think animals can just, they can sense specific. I mean, I know cats can, like I've seen cats, like, you ever want, cats can flip out at any moment and do whatever. So cats are really sensitive. I think dogs are too, like, but they're not near as sensitive as cats, or maybe they just don't overreact like a cat does. I think a cat can be quite dramatic.
I think
Yeah.
it's strengths. And I mean, have you seen a cat when there's a cucumber around? Have you seen those videos where
Yeah.
someone will put a cucumber there and the cat will just freak out completely?
I tried it with my cat, and she just didn't give a damn.
That didn't work.
She just like turned around and like looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And then just walked away,
What is that
tail
thing?
up in the air.
Yeah, like we're the crazy ones. But it's like, I saw it on YouTube. It's supposed to work, kitty. Like, it's
No,
not
I really
working.
wanted to see it, and I even tried because I thought, okay, maybe I just didn't like slide the cucumber slowly enough towards her, that it like looked like a snack. And she just like glanced up at the cucumber and continued. I think we eat salad a lot, so maybe she's just seen cucumber enough to know that, oh, that's that plant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry,
No.
Darren's messaging me.
No, you get it.
But yeah, yeah.
Nice. That'd
He's
be
in the
awesome.
chat.
Lovely. I asked him now. I hope he does. It'd be awesome if he did.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I wish that everybody lived closer so we could all like hang out and do things together. That's the one thing about YouTube. It's like you guys are always, everyone's so far away, but we can come together on here, but
it is. And I know what you're saying. It does make it a bit different. It'd be nice to like for us all to go on like a hike or something, or for us to just like spend time together or whatever. It's just I think it's not too far in the future. And I'll just touch on Moore's law for a moment there. The fact that technology growth is exponential. So essentially what we'll be seeing in the future, not too far from now, is the more higher chance that we're able to travel internationally a lot more quicker and a lot more easily with a lot, like if you consider, because it's back to this basically, right? So think back on like the invention of cars and when Henry Ford started to produce the main line of Fords that came out, like a lot of people never had access to Ford to any of the cars, and they thought cars were like this incredible thing that they were like completely out of reach for the normal man whatsoever, and there would be no real likelihood of us being able to attain a car within our lives. Is the mentality that was within the general public. So then what happens is, like, if you look at the way that life is right now and how fast technology is being growing, I mean, if you look at everybody's attached to their smartphones, right? And like the technology of the smartphone, as everybody knows, like if you look back at like the way that computers used to be, the same technology that is on our smartphones is the same technology that they used to get people onto the moon. So it's just like the whole way that the technology is exponential means that we will soon enough be likely to be able to travel intercontinentally, so that we're able to like have meetups and all have a big gathering, that type of thing. I foresee that in the not too distant far future.
Yeah.
So it's possible, is what I'm saying. I know you give me a simple thing, you give me a slice of bread and I give you back like a pizza slice or something, right? Like sometimes it's like, did you really need to give that much information? But like that's what I think to myself. I'm like, really? So
Ramblin' Rose Home said, "This is the first time I've seen you in my chat. Thank you so much for coming in." And yeah, so but yeah, so I seriously could talk about paranormal experiences and all that kind of stuff. I could seriously talk about that stuff all day because I'm really into that. I've done a lot of ghost things, and I really enjoy that kind of thing. It's one of my hobbies, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So I seriously could talk about that all day.
I don't want to. We can talk about it a little bit more if you want to. Like, I'm more than happy to
Okay.
for a little bit. Like,
Copper
I think
Pedal
it's a very
Farms.
interesting.
Crystal, thank you for coming in. You're awesome.
Yeah.
She's been watching my stuff hardcore, like back to back, like all day. And I've been watching her stuff. We're trying to get our hours up, you know? And so we're just watching her stuff. But he's fine. Heritage Heart, he's fine. He did what he thought was correct, and he messaged me, and we're okay. So everything's good. Let's see what else.
Courtney, do you see what just, and I definitely want to speak about the, I'd love to speak about, furthermore speak about the, you know, that type of spooky type of conversations. They're really cool. I'm
all about it.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say first was, okay, so this is just a small example of what I've been seeing consistently on, and not to call anything out in any way whatsoever, like I've just been seeing that there's a lot of people and miscommunication is happening like quite frequently. And then what happens is like the people themselves, like I've often seen it. Sometimes these incredible people, so when one person on one side here is this amazing person, always contributing towards live streams, always a very friendly person, what's like always just trying to help others. And then so is the other person. And then they'll say something, and then just like off the offshoot, they'll like sometimes get some of that connection confused. And then it's like they'll end up having like a bit of a disagreement. And then right now, it seems like disagreements fly out of the water like so quickly. And then these are both lovely, awesome people that would usually get along, and they've got so much in common, and they've become best friends. But then like at the offshoot that they get slightly like, that the one person gets a little bit bothered by the other person's comments or something like that. It's something where, I'll tell you what happened, right? So I started to do live streams, and I did live streams. My first live stream was about 2 or 3 weekends ago. And somebody came into the comment section. I obviously wouldn't say who it was, but somebody, they're not here at the moment at all. Somebody came into the comment section of one of those videos, and they had noticed that they weren't really being noticed at that point. Now, I didn't really indicate that it was going to be our first live. I just said like CG social. So what had happened was I did that, and then somebody had came into the chat, and I was like so nervous to a degree, because it's not like the first time that I'm doing something like that on my channel, but it's the first time that I was doing something that really came down to like just having a, you know, broad conversation. And the person that came in felt that they weren't really being paid attention to. And now, in all fairness, like I understand that like it's impossible to touch on every single comment, but at the same time, like it's become something that I'm fully aware of as people that do live streams and do go on the air, that we do need to pay quite a bit of close attention at times to people when they do come into the chat or something, because they're also essentially joining the group, and we're all sitting together in a certain way, well, not even metaphorically, but like we're basically sitting all in a same room, busy having a conversation. So imagine how a person does feel when they perhaps come into the stream and then they're saying hello. Nobody notices that they say hello. They'll even then comment on on something that came up within the conversation between the live streamer and the guest, and then all of a sudden, like, then nobody really pays attention to that person. And it's not even like a big room, so it's not like comments are flying through all the time, and then they're going to feel like a little bit out and stuff. Now I get that. So I've tried to quite heavily just focus in on what's happening and try to make sure that people feel good with one another and that they feel like they can all get along, because it's about just giving a person a chance to have their say back and what they really meant, and just giving it that a second chance of an opinion, so that you can hear what they were really trying to say. Because a lot of the time, like, there's so many great people that just have arguments with each other, and I go on live streams like quite regularly, and I see this happening, and I'm just like, no, come on, it's supposed to be like a fun thing where we all chat together. And like, I'm not speaking about this time now, I'm speaking about like in other live streams. I see people get like very, and I've been talking for 2 minutes straight, and that's it for me for now. I'm just
You're fine. No, but yeah, I always try to, when somebody enters the chat, I always try to acknowledge them, and either I write a message to them, thanks for coming in, or I will say something out loud about them coming in, because honestly, without people coming in, I'm just a nobody. I'm just talking to myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I appreciate everybody that comes into my chat and hangs out with me and, you know, gets silly with me and talks about anything, you know. So I really appreciate that. So I always try to acknowledge everybody that comes in.
you said it so perfectly earlier. You said that with the community that you've got, that you have a certain amount of people that do come in and that do comment and that. And that's exactly what you were talking about. It's like, it's the community that I see when I come into your streams always, it's always that like, there's the usual people, there's occasionally new people, which is great to see, but there's often like the usual people that'll stick around that are part of like your little community family type of thing. So I think it's really sweet and it's nice to have that at the same time. That's why when people have arguments with one another, I'm like, wait, just hear the person out. Just listen to each other, guys, like, or guys or girls, whatever the case may be. Like, you guys might have so much in common, and then you'll just like, I don't know. It's people are awesome. People are really, really cool. And that's why I enjoy my job that I do as well in my career, because I speak to people all the time, and it shows because I don't stop talking once I do. So
you're fine. I don't ever think that you overtalk, and like the things that you say are so knowledgeable. Like seriously, like you have a voice. Like when you talk, like people listen. So,
no. Let me correct you quickly on that, right? So, what happens is that the people that people do listen to aren't the people who ramble on the way that I do. There's the whole,
ramble though.
It's true. So basically, like sometimes you'll find in a group of people that you'll find somebody that hardly talks too much, right? And then when they do speak, then I'm like, oh, what did that person have to say? But when somebody talks as much as I do, it's like so easy that it's like, you know what I mean? It's not like a unique moment when CG talks. It's like, oh, there he goes again. It's like verbal diarrhea. Yeah, that's the problem.
Wow.
Okay, I've done talking for a bit. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to be listening, but I'm just going to turn off just for like 2 minutes real quick. I just want to something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, Crystal. Being a good guest is just as important as being a good host. You are 100% correct. I'm the middle child, so I'm used to being ignored. Oh my gosh, the best life. You're fine, and I love when you come into my chats. You're great. Yeah, Citizen is a really good speaker. Take press CG. I don't think he rambles. He's fine. Oh my Lord, you guys are cracking me up. I'm so glad that you have watched before Ramble and Rose Homestead. I'm so glad that you've been in my chats. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. And I'm sorry I didn't recognize you from before. I'm so glad that you are coming in. Rebel, I saw that you came in. Thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. I know you're joking, Darren. You guys crack me up. So before, I mean, we were talking about motivation and staying motivated to lose weight. And then, like, of course, with all my conversations, we ended up talking about paranormal experiences and stuff like that. So, and the conversation quickly goes to the weird, because that's just how I am. I'm a weird person. Yourselves, you guys are so nice. Like, I seriously have met the best group of people and the best group of friends, and I'm internally grateful for that. It is hard for me to make friends outside of YouTube because I have a son, and I'm always, I'm with my family all the time, and I don't really make a whole lot of friends outside of YouTube. So it's hard. Yeah. Nothing wrong with the weird. Yeah, you're right.
That's very true. There's a line from Alice in Wonderland. And I know that it's funny that I make a reference to Alice in Wonderland, but in the movie, there's a line where Alice's father goes to Alice and says, she's worried about seeming crazy or something. And then Alice's father says to her that all the best people are crazy. And I've always liked that comment. I've always liked that little quote there. It's just really special, because it's like the people. So this is something, and I know I'm going to talk about something else now. It's funny, right? I don't drink at all. So like, imagine me when I do have a drink. Like, I never drink and I'm like this. So it's like, what happens is that a lot of the time, the more crazier people around, I get along with them a lot better, and it's maybe why I'm so comfortable in the homesteading community as well. Homesteading and prepping survival communities, because it is a little bit on the fringe of society. Not everybody always wants to be talking about prepping or gardening and stuff. Not everybody has the heart for it. But then the people that do are sometimes like oddballs like myself. And then it happens like, it's really nice because you end up speaking to people, and sometimes the most sincere and genuine and nicest people are the people that would seem a little bit oddballish from the outside. And also, thank you to the comment section, by the way. I see what you guys have written there, and I really, it makes me feel a lot better, because I do struggle with a certain amount of insecurity when it does come to how much I talk, because I love human beings so much and I want to engage and talk all the time. And then I noticed myself, like, I know that 80% of a conversation is supposed to be listening. I absolutely understand that. But it's like, when I do start talking and I really just want to find out more about somebody, I want to share thoughts and opinions, because life is incredible and I really enjoy life itself. And from losing people throughout my past, I've noticed that I should take every day as though, like, this may be the last day where you speak to CG, you know, that type of thing. And then what did I say on the last day? Did I at least have some sort of positive impact when I was talking? Did I try and hurt, or did I hurt or harm all the time? And I'm constantly trying to make sure that I like do every single thing that I can to make sure people do feel comfortable, but at the same time just share my thoughts and opinions, because I think there's so many interesting topics. And then you wanted to speak about the paranormal, so let's do that for a bit. I'm more than happy to go for it.
Okay, so what kind of paranormal experiences have you had, and do you have them at your house right now, or?
Okay, so nothing here at the moment where I'm staying. But when I was growing up, I had a very good friend that was basically a brother of mine, and he stayed on a small holding, which is like a homestead. And what would happen occasionally is we would be sitting and, like, you know, watching like a movie or something. We were just always big buds, and when we'd watch MTV Music, when MTV used to have music on a long time ago, and it was more about like the music videos and whatever. But anyway, so we'd be watching all of it, and the one evening we were sitting there and we were sitting busy watching, I forget what movie it was. I think it was one of like the Speed movies that is that long ago, like Speed 2 with Tom Cruise or something like that, right? So we were watching that movie, and we heard these strange footsteps outside. So when we heard them the first time, it was about 10 p.m. in the evening, and we heard them the first time coming across, and we didn't know what had caused them, because it was heavier than normal human footsteps, but it was lighter than a horse, because there was a horse named Jackie out there as well. And Jackie would occasionally get out in the evenings and walk around the property. But that evening specifically, we thought it was Jackie. And then we went out the first time, we saw nothing there whatsoever. And then we were like a little bit creeped out and stuff as well. You know, two young guys busy chilling on like a weekend evening type of thing as well. So as you can imagine, we enjoyed conspiracies and all sorts of stuff like that. So we like freak each other out to a degree, right? And then so the second time we go out there, we look around and there's absolutely nothing. And then we decide, okay, so we're back inside for the second time now. We go down to where Jackie's stables are, and we look, and Jackie's completely rested, absolutely peaceful, like in the stables, absolutely no movement on the gate. The gate was completely locked. The padlocks on like both of the padlocks were locked. And so we're like, okay, it wasn't Jackie. So we go back in. And then the final time it happened, like we heard a soft tapping on the glass for like a while. And then we like peeked out just a little bit like that just to see. And there was like nothing that was tapping on the glass. So that was definitely one of the most creepiest experiences that I've ever had. And while we were looking at the glass, it was still busy. There was something still tapping on it, and we couldn't see anything. And the cold shivers that went through me at that time was like the closest to paranormal that I've ever experienced. And that was like really, really creepy. So that is definitely the worst experience. And yourself, have you got any of similar stories or anything?
Yeah, I have a ton. Specifically with my old house, like there's been several times, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, so for years I have the issue with my back. So I slept in a recliner. So I slept in a recliner for like 5 or 6 years, actually. I wouldn't sleep in a bed because if I laid flat, it would kill my back.
Yeah.
So I would sleep downstairs. Well, like there were some times like my husband wasn't home and like you could blatantly hear that somebody was upstairs, like walking around and there's nobody there. I've had those kind of issues. My husband saw somebody in the upstairs. He like saw there was only, I think, maybe 3 owners of our last house, and the last owner had lived there pretty much all of her life for 30 some years. And so then we bought the house, and I don't know, I assume that she passed away in the house, but we had like a lot of experiences with her, and I knew her name because our neighbor was also like the oldest living person on the block, and she remembers her specifically because she lived right next door to her, so she remembered her. So I knew her name and stuff, and like you could hear, like one time we went upstairs, this is so creepy by the way, we were like sleeping, I was sleeping in the bed and with my husband, and we're laying there, and we're just like, we just got to the quiet part of the night, and we're just like ready to just like go to sleep, and all of a sudden you hear bang on the back of the door, and we're like, my husband gets up, and he's like, he is like, it startled him like big time, and he's like, what is going on? And I'm like, I have no idea, because the dogs and everything slept in the room with us. We had like dog beds on each side of the bed. So like we're like, what is going on? Like he opens the door, there's nobody there. It's just like bang, as hard as it possibly could be. And like we didn't have the windows open. Most of the time we couldn't open the windows because they were like sealed shut so hard, like we couldn't open them. And we had like central air conditioning, so we never needed to open the windows. Yeah. So like there was no draft, there was nothing. It was hard bang on the back of the door, and it startled us. It was like so creepy. And I had lots of paranormal experiences. Like I have very vivid dreams and stuff, and I've had people visit me in my dreams, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I would get, that's part of my anxiety too. Like I have really bad anxiety, wake up in the middle of the night with like an anxiety attack, and I'd wake up and I'd look over, and like my iPad would be just on and glowing, and and stuff like that. Just weird stuff happened to me. But this house, since we moved in, we've had numerous experiences. I was laying upstairs in bed, and someone poked me in my chest, and that freaked me out. Like I was like laying flat like this, and I was like kind of in a dream, but a dream state, like right before you wake up, and someone just went like this and poked me in the chest. That freaked me out. And there for a while, like if I would turn over and have, turn over in the bed, like, so a couple times someone has poked me in my back. And I told my husband, I said, something's poking me. And he's like, I didn't want to tell you, but something was poking me too in the back. And I'm like, why didn't you just tell me? Because he has experiences, he just doesn't tell me, Yeah. So I'm like, and then something poked me in the back. I'm not scared of anything because I knew my grandparents lived here. And so I'm not scared of that. But we would go to sleep, and I'd wake up, or would wake up in the middle of the night, and the entire room would be lit up with green and white lights here. And it's just weird. And then I put my son to bed lots of times and he'll go upstairs, and I'll put him to bed. I'll turn off the lights, and like not even an hour later, you can hear him up there. He's just giggling and laughing, and it's pitch black up there, pitch black, because we have blackout curtains up there, and the lights are out. He doesn't have a nightlight. I just, and he's just up there, just laughing and carrying on, and we'll go up there, and there's nothing there. So I think my son, I don't know, it could be, my dad passed away like 6 or 7 years ago. It could be my dad. It could be my grandparents. But I think my son's having a paranormal experience upstairs, but we've had lots of lights and different things. And there's used to be a beauty shop in this house where I'm sitting right now. There used to be a beauty shop here, and like we'll be in the other room and you can smell perm solution really strong, like really strong sometimes. And like that's a specific smell. Like so I'm like, and I grew up in a beauty shop. My mom still is a beautician and does hair. So I really know what that smells like. I'm like, you can smell perm solution. I was like, it's probably my grandma, like hanging out with us. And I'm like, okay with that. It's probably my grandma, just like, you know, and that's one way for her to contact me. I had a vivid dream. I dream a lot, and I get really, I wouldn't say I would get predictions or anything like that in my dreams, but I get visits quite often. And there was one specific moment where I was sleeping and my grandmother had passed away. I was really close with them. I lived next door to them pretty much all my life. My grandmother had passed away, and maybe like a month later I had a dream, and I swear I visited her in heaven. Like I was in the mountains and there was this beautiful, gorgeous place. And I said to my grandma, I said, Grandma, I'm like, this place is really beautiful. And she's like, yeah, I know. She's like, I know. And then I woke up. Like I've always had, sorry, it's going to make me cry.
No, definitely.
But I've always had dreams like that. And so it's just, it was one of the most beautiful dreams I ever had. So.
Well, don't you think that this is something weird, right? So with what you're speaking about as well, which is very precious, it's obviously that dreams, like for example, that dream that you had there, and it's almost like you've been to those places. Like when you have a dream, there's a certain feeling if you go to a different place. For example, like you may have memories of going to like a river at one point, or going to a different supermarket or a different city or something. And places have feelings closely attached to them to some degree, like whether it be the like aroma that's in the air, or whether it be the way that the vibe feels in that area. Now, places have vibes. Now, the strangest thing is with dreams is when they also have a feeling attached to them. Like when you'll have a certain dream, and like, for example, the dream of like that you had, which potentially could be heaven itself, like that would have a very different dream, that a different feeling and emotion. And then it's like, how do you explain that emotion that was in that dream? Like, how do you explain emotions in general? Like, it's very hard to explain. Like, if an alien comes down and visits us, like, how do we explain what love is? Like, how do you explain what sadness is? You can't really explain it. But now in dreams, those same type of feelings that you have when you're there, I think that those are really strange too. And I know that Darren said that he doesn't remember dreams. I don't know if you're still here with us, Darren. You said that you don't always remember dreams, but do you also, Darren, do you also agree that sometimes those dreams have like feelings when like regarding specific dreams that you've had in the past? Like has that also been something that you've experienced? And also for Courtney, like I think that we don't really understand why people dream anyway. So it could be exactly what you think it may be, because there's no real reason why we have dreams in the way that we do. Like there's a lot of different theories on it, but there aren't actual reasons as to why we dream the way that we do. And I work within the fatigue and alertness and fatigue career as well, is what I do. So I like understand perfectly the different sleep patterns and the whole. So I don't know if you know this, but if you want to ever take a nap and you want to feel absolutely revitalized afterwards, the whole goal that you can do is that you sleep either for half an hour, make sure it's strictly half an hour from the time that you fall asleep. If you're somebody that struggles to fall asleep, it might be a little bit harder to calculate because you wouldn't know the moment that you fall asleep at. But if you, for example, take about 10 minutes to fall asleep, a little bit longer than most people, then you time it for like 40 minutes, so you time a clock. And if you sleep for half an hour, your body will have had enough energy that when you wake up, you'll feel like you've had a nap. Now, the difference is that it works on a bit of a scale. So like if you slept for half an hour, you'll actually feel rested and like awake and good. And if you sleep for an hour and a half and then you wake up, you'll feel a lot more refreshed and revitalized as well. But if you miss that and you sleep for an hour, say you're going to have an hour nap, try it out yourself as well. Experience what it's like, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you sleep for half an hour, the feeling that you've had like some solid sleep will be so much greater than sleeping for an hour. It's very hard to understand, but I promise you that I'm not lying about this. You could do the research as well at some point if you wanted to. You'd see exactly what I'm talking about. So it goes in between intermittent. So it's like half an hour, then like an hour and a half. Then like after that as well, try to have the hour and a half schedule. So like if you want to sleep for 3 hours, it's fine. If you want to sleep for 4.5 hours, try to stick to that hour and a half thing, or just a half an hour quick power nap. So I just find it interesting. Sorry.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you had like any, like I've had lots of visits in my dreams, and I kind of believe in past lives and stuff like that. So I've had dreams where I've been in the Middle East. I've had, and it's really weird because I don't watch anything like that. I don't, you know what I mean? I've never educated myself on anything Middle Eastern or anything like that. So when I have a dream, it's you know, that's something like that I have not experienced, or something that I haven't tapped into or to educate myself on. When I have a dream like that, it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of puts up a red flag for me, because I'm like, well, I didn't even watch a movie about that, or like, where did that come from? You know? So I've had dreams that I've been in the Middle East. I've had dreams that I've been in France. I've had all different kinds of past 1800 kinds of dreams. One specifically I remember, and I remember everything. And one specifically, I had a dream where I met a spirit guide who came to me, and she touched my hand, and she said to me, I said, "Who are you?" And I remember specifically what she looked like too. And I said, "Who are you?" And I touched her hand, and she said, "I am your spirit guide." And then I woke up. I've had really extremely weird dreams, and I don't know. I can't explain it, and I don't know. I mean, I assume that I would like to say it's something scientific, like maybe it's something in my subconscious that I'm just maybe, but I'm not really a creator. Like I like that. Like I'm not a very good story person like that. Like, so I don't know, maybe my subconscious is making up these wild things in my head, or maybe not. Maybe it is real. Maybe there is something out there that is coming to me through my dreams. But it's really, it's interesting. I've had one specific person, a male figure, that always comes into my dreams, and he's not always there, but I know exactly when he's there. And he came to me in like all different kinds of different versions. He was young, he was old. I was at a buffet. This is so freaking weird, but I know my dreams, it seems psychedelic, but it's really not. I don't do drugs. But but like there was this one specific time I met at a buffet with a Middle Eastern man. And it's before he was Spanish, or before he was an alchemist. I have had dreams about alchemy and stuff like that before. And I know he's the same soul, but he takes on different characters. And this last time he was an older Middle Eastern man, and we were at a buffet, and we were sitting across from each other at a booth talking. I mean, it's just so strange that, but you know, I can't explain it. So.
It has a lot of significance, because if you look at a lot of the cultures across the world, and a lot of religions and a lot of beliefs and faiths, a lot of religions across the world have a large significance on dreams as well. So when you do dream in that way, then you do cross over to a time where you have, like, I'll give you an example quickly, like, because it's really with what you're saying here. Darren says, Darren over here says, I wrote down any interesting dreams so I can write books about them later. That's what Copper Kettle says, sorry there. And then that is also an interesting comment. And then Darren over here said, there's something, yeah, lol, that he said, lol, he said, hard to dream about something I haven't read or watched. So that also is something else though, like that, then why, you know what I mean? Like, where does your, you know, you were also saying that you sometimes struggle in certain creative ways and stuff like that, narration or something, to just make up things because you're usually an honest person, so you don't like spend too much time, you know, compiling stories and that type of thing to fabricate the truth. So what happens, I know it's a little bit of a deep dive on the side there, but the thing is that it's like, where do these dreams like really, where do they take place that it's somewhere that you've never seen in your life? Like, I know that most of the people in the comment section as well. Do you want to take a, like, I'll be right here, but just go through, these are amazing comments down in the comment section.
Yes, they are. I was reading up
some of them. Yeah, do you want to read some of them out, like a little way back and go down?
Let me go through.
Because people are sharing like their dreams, so like some of their dreams, so it's really interesting. Like it's an awesome comment section, and I was reading it now, like, so that's why I got like a little bit distracted from what I was saying as well. And I'm still listening to you at the same time. I was raised by my mom, and my sister around, so I had women around me all the time growing up. So I've learned to multitask to keep up. So I've really had to do that quite extensively. I'm happy for the opportunity to have grown up in the way that I did, though. And,
Anjana just said that she had to pray and ask God to not let me see so much because it was making me fearful. I wanted to be aware without seeing so much that, oh, sorry, the chat keeps moving. That's how it is for me now. Huh. Yeah, and that's a part of my anxiety as well, is I see too much. And I can read people very, 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 very well. And it gets me in trouble.
Just be cautious of that though, because I also feel like quite a lot of the time I can be right about people, but because we have that capability, we should also question ourselves occasionally as well, because it's like, because I do understand what you're saying, like we've been right so many times that it's like we build up like a confidence in our capability to get the vibe of somebody. But sometimes those vibes are wrong. So we should still stick to them, and your intuition should absolutely be something that guides you. I'm fully behind that. But at the same time, just learn to also question it occasionally as well. You know, not at the spur of the moment. If you're in like an emergency situation or you're in like a life-threatening situation, then trust your intuition in every single way. Like, don't have any doubts about that. But when it comes to like meeting people and how people are, I think that what happens is a lot of people do kind of have the capability to read into what other people are doing as well. But then what happens is that's where the chat sometimes gets a bit conflicted, because people will jump to that assumption type of thing as well. Okay, continue reading the comments. Go for it. Sorry, I just had to add that.
Crystal had a dream about Keanu Reeves, and she said she didn't understand why she had to wake up. Sorry. Yeah. No, and Rebel Canners, no one would want to wake up from that dream. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, reoccurring dreams that happen later. It's freaky, completely. I've had reoccurring dreams. Haven't remembered a dream in 20 years. I do dream in color, though. That's pretty cool. I dream in color most of the time, I think. Most of the time.
Do you meet, Courtney, do you meet people like the strange thing is, right, sometimes the people that you meet from your dreams as well are people that seem so real, like they've got all the weird thing is you run into people that you've never met in your life in any way whatsoever, and they have like their own characteristics, and they're people completely from the dreamscape. So it's like you don't even like you can't even really relate to it. Like it's so weird to try and explain this, but it's like, you know, those people, or you've known them for such a long time in that dream, but besides for that dream, those people will never ever exist in your life again. It's really weird.
Right. I've had that, where you have a connection with somebody in your dream, and they're like, I completely had that. and it makes me wonder who they are to me. I don't know, on a spiritual level. It makes you wonder, like, are we all just, I mean, we are technically all just energy. And it makes you wonder, like, who they were to me at some point in my life, or my lives, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
My uncle is in hospice right now, and I dreamt the other night that God was talking to him, and he told my uncle that there is a war coming and that he had to have a position in the army to fight the final battle. Oh, that's a rough one, Ginger Ninja. I don't know how I would be able to handle that dream. So I'm sorry. That's a little much for me to, I think, to handle. I got to watch with my anxiety too. Enjoy my dreams for the most part, but I do have an intense ones from time to time that aren't very as pleasant. At my age, I use a few medicinal herbs, teas, depending on how I'm feeling. Yeah. You kind of have to. The best life. I had a dream like that when my friend died at 25. He called me on the phone and said, I'm okay. It kind of changed my life. Yeah, that was a visit. The best life. He came to visit you. And yeah, when you have a dream like that, that is somebody telling you something. That is definitely a visit. When I do remember my dream, they are either a things that have already happened that I need to remember, or B, things that are going to happen in the future that I need to look out for. Yeah. And that could be like a spirit guide just telling you, hey, this is what's going on with you. Hard to dream about something I haven't read or watched. Yeah, like I know nothing about Middle Eastern people or anything like that. I've had dreams where I've been in palaces. I've had dreams about Middle Eastern people, and I've had numerous psychics and stuff like that tell me that what I used to be, and stuff like that. But I've never had. Somebody told me I used to be a nomad and in the desert, and I used to follow the stars and stuff like that. And I had somebody tell me that I was in India, and I've never been to India, but I love everything about India. I do. I love that. But yeah, and I've had dreams where I was in France, and I've had dreams where my husband now, where he was in all French attire from like the 1800s. After I have dreams like that, I research the clothing, because that tells me what time period I was dreaming in. So yeah, my husband was wearing a French military hat, the side with the plume and So I always research the clothing, because that kind of gives me some kind of idea as to what time period I was dreaming in.
I can imagine Dustin in that as well. Sorry to interrupt. You can go for it now as well. When you mentioned that, I was just imagining Dustin in that hat and how like swag he'd look. He'd look really like awesome. I just like imagine him with like the rest of the clothes as well. I hope that he doesn't hear me saying this, but he definitely would look very, very top notch is the best.
That's funny. I've had a dream about the alchemist guy. It was the time period of Leonardo da Vinci. We were living in this like apartment, and it was like a 1-bedroom apartment with a bed, but you could tell it was like the 1800s. And he kept saying, I'm an alchemist. And Down Under Farm and Forge said, turn lead into gold. What's the secret, please? Oh God, if I could tell you that would be amazing. I've had those kinds of dreams. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. So
dry my hair in the sun. Prep client meeting 1. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for coming in, Copper Kettle Farm. I appreciate you. Sorry. I'm a little far behind on the chat. The topic, oh yeah, the topic of dreams has always interested me too. I have several people from the church I used to go to. I haven't been in a while because of everything that's going on. And then I was really paranoid about taking my son out to places when he was younger because I didn't want him to get sick. So I didn't go for the longest time. But I always message my pastors and I say, hey, I had this dream, and they would always tell me, hey, this is what's going on with you. I sat on a bed with Leonardo da Vinci that Leonardo da Vinci died in. Oh, that's amazing. I love art. And so I just think that's absolutely amazing. So cool.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the blueprints that he made out as well were of concepts that are currently being used and he did this like such a long time ago. So sitting there and like, I would definitely, I know it sounds a bit strange, but I don't know, Rebel, did you take a photo at all? Did you get like a photo? Because if I had to sit there, I'd be like instantly just take a photo just for the memorabilia side of it, just to like know that is a photo of me sitting, because that's a really cool experience. Like I know that it sounds not many people would really be like as interested in it as I would, but I definitely think that that's like an awesome experience. Like not the fact that he passed away, not that, passing away is ever something. I've got to be careful, just explain that I'm not saying that passing away is something that's good in any way, but I'm saying the experience of actually being there, and you know what I mean. Like, yeah. I know that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So like just being there in that experience as well would be really cool. Like, I think that, you were speaking about energies, Courtney, and I wonder if energy in that type of, like, if there was any link, like it sounds really strange and taboo and fringe in a way, but I wonder if any of the lingering energy from somebody like passing away in that moment. I understand that our spirits go, dependent on your belief that, I personally believe that our spirits go up. But I know that there are different beliefs that vary with my opinion, which is fine. But it's just like, I wonder if there was any energy that was left in that specific moment. And it could have have you tried to like do any blueprints or something since then? Have you tried to like kind of, I know it sounds weird, but maybe just pass that energy and inspiration on? And I don't know, I'm not saying that you're Leonardo da Vinci, like that you have the same essence from him or something like that. But I just think it's really cool. I think that maybe there is something that could have passed on that you should try and just do some blueprints or something. It sounds really crazy. I know, yeah. I know how silly it is. It sounds, trust me, I do. As I'm saying it, I'm like, should I really be saying this? But it is. It's like, I believe that if you are somewhere where somebody was, like, I think that I'm superstitious to a degree when it does come to that. I just think it's an awesome experience, Rebel. And I really went on a tangent there, but that is cool. Did you get a photo, by the way? I didn't see if you commented.
She says, I do have photos of that trip. It was a highlight of my life.
Nice.
That trip shaped my life.
Yeah, I can imagine it would. Yeah. Even that experience.
Oh, yeah, completely. That's so cool.
Yeah. I don't know I know that it's a Friday today, and in the US, where I know that a lot of your viewers are from the US as well. It's like we're 6 hours ahead. It should be roughly around 12 o'clock, depending if you're on the east or the west. It should be about 12 o'clock there at the moment. I don't know if anybody else wants to join us for a bit of a chat. We could speak about paranormal. We could speak about dreams. There's like a lot of those type of interesting. We could speak about gardening and like also fitness. Arts and culture, if you guys want to.
You're just like, what's the thing too is like, I'm just interested in everything, and so it's hard to just talk about one topic. So yeah.
No, I agree.
If anybody wants to come up,
it is cool. And then Ramblin' Rose Homestead, who's actually been really awesome. It's been great having you here with us as well. I want to double check to see, because that does seem like a channel. That's definitely a channel. I'm going to go see if I can just subscribe to their channel quickly, because they've really been so awesome today with us as well. Just want to check. Do you guys have a channel yet? Or not yet?
Oh wow.
Yeah, Ginger Ninja just said it's 12:43 on the east coast of the US. Makes sense. So I know a lot of people are like busy with work at the moment. If they're, they're finishing their work for the week, or they also sometimes will join a stream and listen. I know what I do sometimes is I'll just listen almost like a radio. No, that's not a problem.
I don't see.
Yeah, so Ramblin', if you ever wanted to make content as well, all the content that the content that I've been making for a while, I don't say use the same programs as I do, because there are much better programs to create better quality content out there. I'm still busy learning in a lot of ways, but it's like if you are capable of doing so, you can check out, and I can mention them right here for you as well. So like if you want to get free pictures, and I'll give this to anybody watching. If you ever want to get free pictures that are free use with no copyright, you can either go to Pixels. So Pixels is like a good one. Pixels has so many free images and free photos. And then you can go to Pixabay. Like this is just if you ever did contemplate making some content. Just a little tips as well. You can go to Pixels for pictures and videos. You can go to Pixabay for videos and for pictures as well. You can use free editing software, which costs you nothing. Like I haven't spent like money on the content as well on any of the software, but these are all softwares that are free use where you can get no copyright-free music and images. So it's Pixels, Pixabay, and then you can use Snapper. Snapper is really good for making interesting thumbnails if you want, that you can make for free. You're allowed to make 2 a month per email that you're using. So make sure that you do utilize Snapper. And then if you wanted to use for music, sometimes YouTube Studio. So if you go to YouTube and you click at the top there and you go to like YouTube Studio, and then you go to at the bottom, it'll give you audio, a YouTube audio, where you can go to audio library, and that's got like a lot of different free use audio. So essentially you can make like the whole channel and everything that you want to do. All that you'd need is like a computer. And if you don't have that, you could use your phone and upload directly. Like you don't even need a computer, but if you do have a computer, it can be helpful for like some of the editing and stuff. But there's basically those. So it's like Shotcut, Panzoid for intros. Panzoid, you can edit intros. They've got some basic intros there as well. So like I know that this has turned into a little bit of a stream like that, but I just wanted to see if that could help you out.
I use Snappa. I love that. I use that quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
I used it for my background for Wide Family Farm on my page, and I used it for my husband's background. I like that program. Yeah,
it's very useful. And then I do think that there's, several more, but as you go through the journey, you just start picking up more as well. But yeah, Snap is really cool. And then Q Kitchen and beyond. And yeah, there's so many different topics. And you're not the only one with ADHD. That's something that I've never mentioned live on any of my channel, any of my content, and I've never spoken about on a live stream. But I suffered with severe ADHD, which is also why I ramble sometimes the way that I do, because attention deficit disorder, like I have that. I had that a lot when I was younger, and my mom put me on a high prescription at the time because I really was like just everywhere, all over the place, more than I am now. I know it's hard to believe, but it's like through that, what happened is I was on a high dose of Ritalin, and then I'm not going to speak about the good and bad of any pharmaceuticals because that can also get us into trouble. But it used to definitely put me in such a docile state that because I was on a high dose of it. So like I became almost zombie-like through education and stuff. And I picked up quite a lot, but at the same time, I never felt alive really. I never felt like that I was actually human, to put it lightly. And I was also in boarding school. So like boarding school for quite some time. And the mixture of those, yeah, ADHD is something that I can completely relate to, Rambling Rose Homestead. And if you ever do need assistance as well, I know that Courtney and myself are always willing to help you out with any tips and suggestions regarding that. But yeah, the story of me and ADHD, I was always the eccentric one, and I was the one that was like in class, if somebody wronged me at that time, I would stand up in the middle of a class while a teacher's busy trying to teach, and I'd go and like, sort the situation out right there. But then that, like, because I just was, that's why I went on ADHD. That's why I went on the Ritalin, because of like, that's the type of thing that I used to do. I was just all over the place, like really all over the place. So yeah, sorry to go on about that, but I just wanted to share a little bit of that as well with you, so that you can also understand, like, sometimes when I do end up going on like this big ramble and it feels like I do need to catch a breath, like Darren was mentioning earlier, like that's something that I can do. I can speak really quickly and there's a lot of information that's coming out, but it's like, that's just the way that my brain's wired. And I sometimes wish it wasn't, because I have been through scrutiny growing up, being the one that speaks a lot. And strangely enough, it's actually worked out to my benefit as I've grown older. So yeah, it's because now within my career, I'm supposed to talk all the time. So me talking all the time is not a problem. I understand on live chats, I also want to listen to what the other person's saying though. Just before I do stop talking, I just want to say hi to Michael Sherman Gardening, that's joined us as well. That's really nice for you to join us. And then Rambling Rose Homestead, I have the same CG, but was undiagnosed. And as I became older, it became worse. I'm 66, but I'm treating it with natural ways. Yeah, it can be really, it can be a problem. It can be something where I'm just fortunate that my wife is very supportive of me as a person. And she's just always got time for me. And a lot of the time, what I'll do in social situations is I'll actually ask her to tell the story, because she's very good at narrating and telling stories as well. So like, I know that I can too, but yeah, sometimes I do talk too much. Trust me, I know. Like right now, I feel like I've heard enough of my own voice. I'm like, okay, it's enough.
You're absolutely fine. You're fine. Yeah, people say that I talk a lot too. So when both of us combined.
Yeah, it's just an endless stream talking about nonsense. That's what I find fun though. Because we can talk about like anything, and it's just a bit of a chat and catching up. Yeah, so as I said, I hear my voice too much. Just give me a moment. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Let's see. Q Kitchen and Beyond says, it's okay. My mom was a nurse and used coffee to help my sister, and I bless you, sweet man. All of my daughters have ADHD as well. 2 are also on spectrum. I cannot be medicated. Yeah, I have ADD, though I was diagnosed with it in high school. So I completely understand. And I have a hard time paying attention sometimes. It's tough. But thank you for coming in, Michael Sherman Garden. I appreciate you. Can you put those links up? I know a lot of newies like, oh, okay. Let's see. I tried to find the Ramblin' Rose Homestead. Hold on, it's Ramblin'. Maybe I just spelled it wrong. See if I can find you. If I can't, maybe they can email you or something later and give you the link.
What was that? What was the link to, Courtney?
Ramblin' Rose Homestead. I can't find her link.
Oh, no. She was saying that she wants to put up content. She might be putting up content in the future. But
okay.
Yeah. She was saying that earlier.
Yeah, I can't find her. Let's see. Down there form says, yes, I used to be able to direct my dreams. What does that mean? Oh, I don't know what that means. I think it's just you can direct your dreams. That's pretty cool. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a child, and my son now has ADD with ODD, and it's awful. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So, Q Kitchen. Sorry, go ahead, Courtney. I apologize.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, sorry, my wife's just in the background chatting on the other phone. So what I wanted to answer is Q Kitchen asked me a very interesting question. So Q Kitchen and Beyond, do you find that talking helps you think things through to see things more clearly? If I can give you my honest opinion on that, and I'll tell you that talking through things absolutely does help me to kind of put my thoughts in and compile them in a way so that I can understand them better by relaying the information that I have to somebody else. So say, for example, I'm at the place where my brain is just going in a million ways at once, right? Because I've got all these ideas and I just have like so much happening in my mind at once. When I have to talk about the subject that I'm busy thinking about, it makes it so that they are the thoughts go into a much more orderly fashion, which is then in turn much more easier for me to understand. You see what even as I'm doing this right now, and as I'm trying to like iterate it, it really does like it adds a lot of like understanding to what I'm saying as well. But it absolutely does. Talking is something, and it's not just talking, it's talking to people that you've built up the capacity to have a conversation with. Because some people, if you are an outspoken person to a degree and you do enjoy communication, there might be people that do kind of like shut you off very quickly. And it's good to pick up on that and slowly get into the conversation and then like understand what the feeling is of that person. And then if they are like, if you can see that they're tuned into what you're saying, then absolutely like, then speaking about it really does help. Like, that's why I say, and I'll always give credit to my wife, because she's always been supportive of me and understanding when it does come to the fact that I'm like exceptionally charismatic and very bubbly, and that's really who I am. And she's more like the structured, more rational and logical person. So what she can do is sometimes when I'm speaking to her, I'm able to speak to her about all of the things that I'd normally be speaking about right now, in fact, much more. And then I'd actually like find out more about myself in the process of doing so. I don't know if that answers the question, Q Kitchen. I tried to answer it as best possible.
We are social beings. It helps us to talk to others and puts us at ease when we find out others are dealing with similar issues. That's true. That is so true.
Yeah, and also sometimes when we think we're so different from people, if we give them like half a chance, that's why there are people that like, I know that there are people like, and I'm not going to go into political stuff, but there's a certain political party in the country that causes a little bit of trouble and stuff now and again. And they have, they'll wear the political clothing and stuff as well. And so they are not in the same political, I don't like to be political in any way, but they're not like in the same, they don't have the same views as me. And I'll go out of my way to talk to those people that have a different like set of views. Like I'm mostly centrist. I'm mostly right in the middle when it comes to politics. I'm not left or right. And I like speaking to people on both sides. And it's amazing to know how much similarities they have, but then it's like they're so divided at the same time. So that's all I'll say about that, is that it's really like interesting to find out how much similarities you have with other people if you give them a chance to communicate with you.
Q Kitchen responded to you.
Yeah, so Q Kitchen says, yes, I feel hearing things helps me sort things out that are zooming around in my head and sometimes slows it down. Yes, it does. Thank you. It's really like, you see, engaging with the community and just I'll put my camera on now. I'm so sorry. It might be a little bit like strange, but it's just give me one moment. But it really does. Talking to other people really is something that's so important. And it's when we don't feel heard that we feel frustration. And then that frustration leads to anger. And then the anger feels like, then you don't even understand like how to really resolve it, because you're so caught up in your already preconceived bias about the situation that you're talking about. So it's like hearing other people's side. If you listen to people that don't agree with you, that's the best thing that you can do, is like having conversations with people that you assume don't see things the way that you do, and talking them out without having an increase in your aggression or how your volume of talking, to just keep yourself like as peaceful as possible all the time when having those conversations, because it allows somebody to feel comfortable that they can open up to you in turn if you open up to them. But at the same time, be cautious, because there are those out there, unfortunately, that will see that, and then they're kind of like more inclined to see it as an opportunity. There are opportunists out there, and it's something that we've got to understand that is out there, but they come in all shapes and forms in every single way. So like, just being cautious at the same time, but being as open as you can. And I'm more inclined to believe somebody at the like on face value, to believe them, and then find out like that they might have been lying to me or something like that along the way. But I'm much more inclined to believe people, and that's where, I don't know, as I said, I do talk too much, but I think what you're saying is incredibly important. So I really agree with you, Q Kitchen and beyond. I'm actually going to see, I don't know if you've got a channel. I always want to see if the people like speaking in the chat have a channel, so that I can go and support them as well if they do. So sorry about that.
Q Kitchen and beyond. Here is their link. I am subscribed. Give me a second. I'll throw their link. They only have 67 subscribers.
Yeah, and I'm busy looking at some of the content now, and they've actually got really nice content that they're uploading pretty frequently. Like the last 30 days, like that's pretty like big. You're growing really quickly, by the way. Like what you're doing right now is awesome. Like the fact that you're uploading as frequently. I haven't uploaded a video for 2 weeks, so it's been like a really long time for me. But that's going to be changing in the next like month or so because I'm getting transport and moto vlog, and I'll talk about that all the time because I'm excited about it. Sorry, Courtney, but I'm just like really excited about that. But yeah, Q Kitchen and Beyond has a channel. Did you put it in there? Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome, Q Kitchen and Beyond. Awesome. Well, I'm heading on my 2-hour mark here, and I'm gonna have to get off of here. I gotta watch my son, and I got mounds of laundry to do, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, you're all good. Thank you for the chat, and it's been really cool to catch up. Do me a big favor and say hello to Dustin for me. And
I will.
To everybody else that's been
Oh, it was
in
so
the
funny yesterday. He's like,
yeah.
guess who I was talking to? And I was like, who? It's like, Citizen Guardian. He messaged me. He's like, we're friends. he cracks me up.
No,
But,
your husband's a legend, and I have all the time in the world for Dustin. I really think is one of the most awesome people, and that's why I want to arrange a time where we just have a bit of a catch up. But I've been chatting to the both of you about that. It'd be cool to have a catch up sometime. And thank you for listening to me ramble, essentially, to the comment section. I love you guys, and it really means a lot. And in future, like, just always remember that you've got to just take a moment to think about how somebody else could have been saying something, so that we don't end up like having opposing viewpoints, being awesome people on both sides, opposing viewpoints. Then we end up having like disagreements, and it turns into arguments. And if the conversation had started off in a different way, you guys could have been best friends. So like, just that applies to myself and everybody else. Bye for now, and have a lovely weekend if I don't see you guys again. And this is CG. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye. And you have a wonderful day, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.